Okay, so if your Mercedes is throwing a tantrum and you're getting sometimes random component errors or even codes when you scan it, and sometimes even the dreaded code for the ISM, the intelligent shift module, which, you know, that's a $400 piece, and it's not that easy to actually replace. Easy. It's not the hardest thing. You can do it yourself, definitely, but the car gets stuck in park and literally tells you, take your car to a dealer for service and do not shift. And that scares the living hell of most Mercedes owners. And a lot of times that problem lies right there. Not sure if you can see that voltage of the battery. It says 11.6 volts. This is the car's battery voltage. With 11 volts, you're going nowhere, especially with Mercedes. I know it will crank the car. That's, you know, it cranks the car because most modern cars are really good with a starter and all that good stuff. But if I make a scan right now, it will probably throw a few codes, most of them being electrical. And as you see, yeah, central gateway and all that stuff, stability program, ESP, which I know there's no problem with the ESP in this car, but this is what I'm talking about. It's actually due to the battery voltage not being able to maintain. And this battery was only overnight. It's not that it was, you know, for 3 days running any extravagant audio systems or anything. No, I don't even have extravagant audio system on this car, actually. But if you want to find out how many volts you have on your battery and whether you need to change it, park your car and next day check the battery level without starting the car. You don't need to have a fancy toy. You can just get it with another fancy toy. This is just a multimeter. Don't be scared of it. It's nothing super, you know, rare. Just any multimeter, even from any Harbor Freight, can do it. And let's go check the battery. I know it's gonna say 11.6 because this OBD doesn't lie. And that's time that you actually change the battery, and do not use flooded lead acid on Mercedes. Anything that's Mercedes past 2010-12, do not use flooded lead acid. They're not good for these cars. These cars require AGM because AGM does better stability with the voltage, better charging, and most Mercedes, look, rain and light sensor, it works. I know it works, but it's thrown an error here. And these cars do not like what the sealed lead acid does because it's not stable. So with that said, I ordered a new battery from Amazon. Let's go check it out. But one thing before we go to the battery, we're gonna need an OBD tool to actually recalibrate or relearn the BMS, battery management system, to tell it that we put a new battery, and we tell it how many CCAs or cold cranking amps the new battery has. So now the BMS readjusts the charging levels and the charging frequencies from the alternator, because the alternator in this car, for example, a 2013 Mercedes, and the goddamn dog, hope you never bark again, is an intelligent so-called charger. It uses intelligent modules to charge the battery. That's why you must have an AGM battery. So let's go to the battery real quick. And we're running on the old battery right now. We'll just measure it real quick. If you can see the numbers there, for some reason it doesn't want to stay. I guess I'm gonna put it this way. Yeah, okay, so you don't see a thing again. Oh, maybe you see there now. Okay, we open positive here and negative is here. Let's see how many pixies we actually have here. Wow, 11.79. So just what the meter said inside. Look at that. Not sure if you can see it, but yep, 11.79. There's no way a car can work with that, especially Mercedes. You can actually damage components on it with this voltage. And this battery has to come out immediately. And the new AGM battery just arrived from Amazon. It's an original, well, GM, how they put this logo here, AC Delco Gold, and country of origin, USA, non-spillable battery. So let me open it up, take it out, and throw it in. But one thing, we have to check the voltage on this one to make sure it's at least above 12.2, 12.4 before we put it in the car. If it's under that, I highly suggest you charge it overnight with a trickle charger that has auto stop on it to make sure that the battery we're putting in here has the proper voltage to at least give the car an indication that's a new battery. So I'm gonna open it up and see what happens. Really good packaging. With that self-expandable foam, I like that. And here's our battery. Nice. And in both sides, there are holes. One hole right here and one hole right here, as you see. And these are your venting holes. Now, what happens is that you have this cap right here, the positive cap. This is a whole blocker, so you have to check on your old battery in what side there's like a small tube that goes out under the car to expel that the gases and fumes. So the opposite hole then gets blocked with this, so you don't leave it open. And well, let me check the voltage on it first to make sure that it actually has the proper voltage. I hope you can see the meter there, but anyway, I'll tell you. Pull the cap off and let's check. 12.56. This is perfect. I can just throw it in the car right now. Well, AC Delco, they actually do good batteries anyway. Look at that. Perfect. We are ready to install it. That's all we needed to know. Nice. And this one is made in Germany, this battery. Let me just show you real quick. Look at that. Made in Germany. Nice. This is the 48 class, 760 CCA and 120 reserved current, 70 amp hours, and that's all we need. Fully AGM gold. And with that said, let me just get rid of our old battery. The old battery in this car is, I'd say, almost 12 years old. Yep, believe it or not, it's actually that old. And it needs to get the hell out of here. And this is the venting tube that I told you. It's on the left side on this car, and the right side was blocked, so we will have to do the same exact thing. We put that little cap, the red cap, on the right side that will not have a vent, and put the tube here. That's simple. And the old battery is out. And just don't forget something very important. Right there is your bracket that holds the battery. It goes in like that. You take it out, put the battery, and then we will put that bracket back on to hold the battery from the sides. And besides that, well, we are almost there. You just need a 10mm for both poles in both sides. Just don't forget there's an under bracket holder, so don't fully take this out. Just release it and leave it there. And the only other thing, yeah, the bracket bolts are 13mm, and that's pretty much it. Let me drop the battery in. And one thing, if you noticed, on the way out, we took the old battery negative first, which is the proper way, but putting it back in, you connect the positive first to avoid any shorts. That's the only thing you have to follow here. But we drop the new baby inside, and let me block the right side hole of it, like I told you a minute ago. Take this little cap, because we have the tube coming from the left side on this car, so we need this one for the tube. And on the right side hole, we use this extra that came in here, put it up there, boom, that's it. And this I'm just gonna use later after I put everything on to cover the positive, and that is pretty much it. Our job is almost done here. Okay, let me drop it in. And here's the how many CCAs it actually produces. I'm gonna go with car, CCA, and the CCA on this battery is 760. So we go 760, enter. State of health should be good, but let's see how many CCAs it produces. State of health, it says perfect, but the internal resistance is a little bit high. On 3.9 for an AGM, that is actually quite high. It's not optimal. And then we have the voltage, that's okay, 12.6, and the DC, only 743 cold cranking amps can actually be produced instead of 760. Besides that, I don't know what else to say. Just wanted to show you full what I've done so far. It's fully installed with the gas vents, and it's installed properly, and only those two things. So everything is good and closed up under the cover, and the battery somewhere down there. That's just how it is. So let's go turn on the engine and see if it fires up. I mean, it fires up, but make sure of that. Okay, so the battery says 12.6, so that means we're in a good track. That's what matters here. And we don't have any weird lights on the dashboard, so let's just hit it up. Yep, everything just fires up right away. And let's see if it starts charging. And yep, it's jumping to 14.4 volts, which that's where it should be. Nice. What if I hit the gas a little bit? Yep, doesn't change anything, so that's really good. That's what we want to see. And here too. Nice. So everything is working as expected. That is really nice. And we have the BMS reset. It's this one right here, and we can just go find this car, which would be a Benz. And it's initializing. Well, I actually did this already outside camera, so I don't need to do it twice, but you just go to your car and you select the BMS, and just it hits relearn, and it does its own thing. And here you can do all this other stuff. Actually, I really like this scanner. It's seriously that good. And we have the speed limiter here. That you can do cool stuff. It doesn't have Mercedes yet, but they're going to probably add it. But you have these cool ones here. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk more about the part here, but it's just how it works.